They're really treating it like a threat. And one of the things that can't be attacked is your self-custody Bitcoin. And one of the things that can be attacked is the ETF. You can't be exposed to that. That's my view. It's not a good idea. And by the way, that'll hit MSTR too. It'll probably hit other stuff as well. Friends and enemies, welcome back. Canadian Bitcoiners podcast.
Friends and enemies, welcome to the CBP. Want to be better informed? Listen to Len and Joey. Sponsors taken care of right off the top. Bull, Bitcoin, and easy DNS. The media is feeding the slop. It doesn't matter what topics discussed. Quality entertainment and information you can trust.
That's being planned or at least discussed. You know, we're not going to allow
quality
people to buy
entertainment and information you can trust. Send the guy some value, boost them with some stats. Bitcoin is a scarcity asset, I mean it's just a fact. Geopolitical, national, down to the local cloud.
Friends and enemies, welcome back to the Canadian Bitcoiners podcast, where we are not on strike. My name is Joey, that's Len. Buddy, what's going on? Good to see you, good to hear from you. What's the latest and greatest over there in your neck of the woods?
I'm not flying anywhere, which is good. I don't think you're flying anytime in the next couple of days.
No,
right?
sir. No, sir. Actually, that's not true. I'll be flying. I'll probably fly to Montreal, and I have another keynote
next few days,
engagement. No. But
Okay.
in like a month, 2 months. So I don't know. I don't know what the mediation will look like, but I have another engagement that I have to fly to, yet to be announced in February. But you know. Not in the next few days, I'll tell you that. That's ugly. What do you I don't know where I come down on this, you know, recent discovery by a lot of people that flight attendants aren't paid unless they're in the air. Where do you come down on this? Does this like seem unfair, or are we just missing something?
Well, I'd prefer to chat with this maybe later in the show, but definitely if they're working, they should get paid for them actually doing something. So if there's unpaid
paid for the time,
duties,
right?
That's bullshit, right? Like I
think that's where
I don't want anybody to work for free.
No. That's communism. So we don't do that. All right. Well, let's start with the sponsors. EasyDNS, best place for you to buy, host, port a domain. Mark is your friendly neighborhood registrar and takes Bitcoin for all his services. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before. Just kidding. We talk about it every week. If you are a Bitcoiner, lots of stuff available for you over there. You have the option to run a number of different virtual private server services, suite of services, I guess you would call it. Bitcoin nodes, Nostr relays, all these great things you can do. Not to mention, then for a couple extra bucks, you get DomainSure, EasyMail, all these things that'll help you protect not only your data, but the data of people who are relying on your service or your website or your blog or your podcast, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We talk about this a lot in Access of Easy, man. There's every week, Len and I talk about stories where people who you would think are otherwise competent, hospitals, car insurers, health insurers, you name it, data getting grabbed and sold on the dark web for honestly pennies on the dollar, which always makes us laugh. But Mark will make sure that you're taken care of in that respect. So go over, make sure you patronize our sponsors, okay? Be nice to them as well. No rude comments. CBP Media is the code. You get 50% off your first round of buys, which you can't beat. Who's the second sponsor?
Bull Bitcoin. I like Bull Bitcoin. You like Bull Bitcoin. We make our buys through Bull Bitcoin.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because they're non-custodial. They have your privacy in mind. And they're the best in the game. Look, they're available in Canada, Mexico, Costa Rica, a bunch of countries in Western Europe. You know what? You're going to conquer the globe eventually. Look, if you already haven't opened an account, open one up using our code below. Why? Because, like I said, they're the best in the game. You don't want to deal with a custodial exchange because they are cucks, right?
Custodial exchanges. Yeah, look out for those.
Don't want to deal with them. And a lot of options you could do with Bull Bitcoin, like pay your bills with your Bitcoin because, look, Bitcoin's gone up quite a bit in the past little while. Also, you could send some money to somebody. Say you want to pay for something like an e-transfer. You don't want to send them fiat. You can send them some Bitcoin, which gets transferred into fiat. There's a lot of different options available of Bull Bitcoin. They are the ones that I use to buy all my Bitcoin these days. I like them. They are number one. And it's time to get Francis to come back on because Bull River Credit Union is also an option. If you're in Alberta and you want to buy Bitcoin direct, you could use them.
Yeah.
Just fucking cool.
He did message me about the episode with you that he missed because he was like half traveling, and I told him I would reach out to him. But we're booked pretty solid, man, which is a good transition to housekeeping. We have this week Dan Carlin, who organizes the Canadian Bitcoin Conference. He's going to come on Wednesday at 7, we'll talk about the conference, talk a bit about some of the hits and misses and some of the lessons learned. I got to say, I really like Dan. I've worked with him for a few years now. Obviously, I emceed the first year, was a speaker last year, and I'll be MC again this year. Him and his wife, Manuela, really do care about the Bitcoin ecosystem here in Canada. They really do care about the reputation of the conference. And Len, I mean, you didn't go to the conference in Montreal. I don't think you're planning on going this year, but boy, oh boy, what a job they did picking the venue, picking the speakers. It's going to be really, really fun this year. I hope you guys are there. We'll probably have a promo code or something, I'm sure, so you can get a ticket through us. And I just want to remind people, like, we don't ask for anything when we do stuff like that. If you buy a ticket to the conference through CBP, we don't get anything. I don't want anything from Dan Manuel. I want them to get the full price of the ticket and make that conference as good as they can. And they've done that. We don't do that for, obviously, anyone who has a conference. We will do it for the people who we trust and we think have a good reputation. So looking forward to that. Next week, I have Nick St. Louis coming on to talk about the potential for Canadian Hash Force and some other stuff that's been on his mind. He obviously just joined a Bitcoin Treasury SPAC company. I'm not sure what you would call it, a few weeks ago. So him and I have been planning to record for a while. We're going to get him on. And then look out for a few more guests. Dr. Brian Day is somebody I need to email. We had a DM exchange on two-tier healthcare in Canada. I believe he's been on Money Talks. And obviously, like, my recent ACL injury has really opened my eyes to the fact that there is a two-tier system in this country already. And if you don't realize that, it's because you're on the bottom tier. And I want to get his take on a lot of different things that are going on. He's obviously been pushing for private options in some respects. And he's not just a nobody or not just a business guy. He is a orthopedic surgeon, I believe, at UBC. So doing a lot of good work in that sphere. I can't wait to talk to him. And then, I don't know, I'll probably take a few weeks off in September, to be honest with you, because I'll probably get that surgery at some point, and Len can take over and do some interviews. I don't know who you're going to talk to, but yeah, we got a lot going on, man. I know we talked about taking the summer off. I did anything but, honestly. And I'm glad. I think we had a lot of good episodes and the viewership was up, and I got to thank everyone for the support. You could do anything in the summer. And you might not go to the beaches anymore, but there's a lot of places you could hang out and not listen to Bitcoin podcasts, but instead you guys are with us, which is sick. So I appreciate that. And I know that Len does too. Boost? Let's do it.
4 noteworthy boosts this week from Mo BTC Dick is one of them, 500 sats.
Okay.
And it came in today, and it's because he wrote in loving this dip and a couple of hearts over his eyes and his big smiley face. Yeah, we did have a bit of a dip today, so hopefully you took advantage. If you did, bull Bitcoin. That's a good place to buy.
Totally, man.
Sell it up too if you want. But
it's funny, we can see people when they use, we don't know who uses the code, but we can see that the CBP listeners are dip enthusiasts. It's a great time to buy. I'll just say that. You know, if you look at the price on bull Bitcoin, I just went to look. We're about, Len, you know, a year ago, August 18th, 81,000, and now 160, about a clean 100%, a clean double.
That's in Canadian dollars for people that are wondering.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one thing I wish they had an option. You could switch it to US, because everything when I look at Bitcoin, it's with respect to USD.
Yeah.
When I look at any other currency, just for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem right.
Same. I mean, everything's measured in the mighty dollar, right? So yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jer writes in for 500 sats. He says, where is the SBR? We'll talk about that today. Gold revaluation and hiking. He's saying that what's going on with it? Like what's up with this thing? So yeah.
Where do you come down? We will find out shortly. I'll tell you that much.
Now, the SBR, that is an interesting topic to discuss today.
I think so too.
I want to go a little bit. Okay, Doom Satoshi 521 sats. He says 33.3 Celsius here. What a number. Time to teleport a few quarters to you. Third most hot day of the summer in my northern woods. Thank you for your time. Yeah, 30. That's, I'm going to guess 90-ish.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Low 90s.
If you look on the Weather Channel now in Canada, anything above 30 is like on fire on the map. They have it burning. It's like an animated GIF on every weather map.
It's incredible that they've changed the way things are.
The incredible thing is that they think we don't remember when it wasn't a red jurisdiction at 20 degrees, and now it's, you know, I'm supposed to believe that it's like suicide wings hot when it's anything above 20 or a two handle at all. It's crazy, man. It's like, it's just, again, I say this all the time. These guys don't know what kind of media environment they're actually operating in. They think they do, but it's evidenced by their actions that they have no idea.
And you know what the official reason why they're doing that?
Tell me.
They say it's to ensure that the colorblind can get
off.
a
it's such an obvious lie. What a lie. Like, what other, do they do that for all their programming, Len? What other maps do they do that for the colorblind? Come on, give me a break.
I like that.
CRTC doesn't have a regulation about colorblind mapping for the temperature. Like, it's nonsense, and it's happening.
I wish I was blind. Period. If I could see the new cheerleaders that are being bestowed upon us, but. Trevor, 5,000 sats, last one. Love you guys, but I think you're missing the point about the forest thing. It's that they don't want to have to deal with rescuing people from the forest when the fires inevitably start.
Yeah, I've seen a couple different points of view on this. My take is that if you don't want to have to rescue people from fires, then control the underbrush, do your burns, do your maintenance, all those things. Or if you can't do it, and I know that there's at least some argument that's, I think, a rational one, that it's difficult now to get ahead of this time of the season with this heat, blah, blah, blah. Then you just set a certain area where people can hike, you know, and if you can't enforce it, then you can't enforce it. My general feeling, though, overall, like, even if you view the ban as rational, the thing that you have to think about, again, is directionality. Do you want the government to be able to tell you that they're afraid you're going to get hurt, so you can't do something because they failed to control a safety element that was easy to control, a variable that should have been able to be, you know, lassoed years and years ago? That's a problem for me, because pretty soon you can apply that to many other things, like car crashes or certain foods or whatever. And you don't want that. What you want is a government that's competent enough to prevent those things from becoming risks when they've always prevented them from becoming risks and then suddenly stopped. You know, that's the thing. That's the problem. So while I don't disagree with you necessarily, I think that you have to push for better than that, or, you know, it's a case where you give an inch and a mile is taken. And
the fact that it's a tiered thing, and some people are able to go for hikes in the woods.
Yeah, the natives, right? The natives are allowed to do shit in the forest.
I'm not saying who.
I'll say it. The natives are allowed to do shit in the woods. And so, like, it's just obvious, right? Like, you know, if you were rallying as a trucker, you were in a super spreader event, but if you were protesting George Floyd, it was rational and doctors didn't care and it wasn't a super spreader event. There's too many standards. And when there's more than one standard, then it's political, and that's all there is to it. Yeah. So it's completely ridiculous. You're totally right, Len. I completely forgot about that.
And I think it's time just to say thank you to Boomer for tagging in last week.
Yes, 2 weeks out of the last three. 2 weeks out of the last three. Yeah.
Well, last week in particular, because he was doing it while he was on vacation in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, it looked like he was in a Taliban hostage video. What was with that bedroom? What's going on in the Airbnb market? Where was that? Some kind of bed and breakfast in the woods there? It looks like the beginning of a Jordan Peele murder movie in that room.
I don't know who Jordan Peele is.
You will. Sometime you'll watch a movie from him.
I don't watch much of that. So anyways, thank you to Boomer for tagging in again. This is we love you, buddy.
Definitely.
And Joey, I think that's it. Let's go to the Bitcoin news.
Let's hit it.
First one, very, very quick, but you know what? It seemed like so long ago we had an all-time high, 124K
crazy-ish. For all of like an hour or something a day. What was that?
Hey, you know what? Doesn't matter. We got there. But again, like I say, when did it happen? It feels like more than a week ago, but it happened just a few short days ago. And I'm not sure about you, but celebrations for these all-time highs are just minimal now.
Wasn't there a big all-time high celebration at Ridgeway Mall in Brampton? I think I saw a big celebration at Ridgeway Mall in Brampton. That wasn't for the all-time high? Was there a protest going on there or something? I'm not. No, familiar. I think it was all-time high celebration, wasn't it?
Was it? Okay.
I don't know. You can Google that if you want.
Okay.
Try and find out. Try and find out what was going on there. A lot of people. It must have been for the all-time high.
Was there a Hamilton man present at that event?
It could be in that segment. I don't know. I don't know what went down, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, we'll explore that topic later in the show. But yeah, these all-time highs, the increment is now getting to be smaller and smaller. And not only that, it's the percentage too. You know, when you went from like 55 to 60K, 5K
Totally.
difference, but by percentage, you know, it's decent. Now we
Huge
went from
gap,
123 to 124, 1K, and then by percentage, it's even smaller. So something is going to happen one way or another. Whatever it is, just be ready and enjoy it. There's nothing we can do to change it. We can't will this to go up or down.
No.
It does what it does, and for a variety of different reasons. So
I've never been
a ride.
Have you ever been more willing to buy at all-time highs than you are right now?
I've been always in previous all-time highs because just the thought of it, I gotta get in because it's gonna go even higher. So nothing is changing. Even now, 124, gotta get in. I have bought 124. I bought other all-time highs. I'm proud to say I'll do it again.
Narwhal making a good point in the chat. The all-time highs are happening during low trading volume sessions, which is true. I actually talked about this on Why Are We Bullish last week. Punter Jeff and I, Jeff Walton, kind of going back and forth on I don't know what you call.
Is it my side or is it the people in the chat? Because
S&P all-time highs. Oh, I can still see you and hear you.
Okay, yeah, you froze for a second. I'm curious to know if it's my side or if it's your side.
I don't know.
It's just the third time this happened. Could be the fact that I just switched to a different location.
Oh, VPN.
Yeah, it was, for whatever reason, California wasn't allowed for using certain tools.
Yeah, so I just saying to Jeff that you're kind of in
your side froze a little bit, eh?
Oh, maybe that time there. I don't know. But the thing about the sort of all-time highs now is you have high rates. Like we've talked about this a million times. High rates, difficult, kind of a difficult treasury secretary, let's call it, and a number of other reasons why you would expect for the sort of price to be lower. And most of the time when we talk about why the price rips, we absolutely, fly on stuff like rates coming down. We also just had a really high PPI print, which did do a little damage to the price. I think it's really the core of most of this dip, to be honest with you. But I don't know why you'd feel bad buying up here. I see people talking about you don't want to buy the dips, don't want to buy this, don't want to buy that. But like why would you not want to buy this all-time high? Like, what is wrong with you?
Are you buying for today, tomorrow, next week?
Exactly.
Years from now?
It's so well put.
It doesn't matter if it's a few $1,000 difference.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
Because a few $1,000s now is a couple of percentage points. Like who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, exactly that. The one thing that didn't transpire is Coinbase, from what I understand, didn't go down from this all-time high. So maybe that's why it didn't truly rip. There seems to be a correlation between the two. But Trade Ogre went down. Reports say
you had this in the show notes. Like, what is? I don't even know what Trade Ogre is. Like, am I supposed to know what that is?
Yes, Manny Monero is a user of. Did you remember that he was talking about this? And
people haven't. When was the last time we heard the name Manny Monero on this show?
It's been 3 weeks, I think. Well, 4 weeks. We talked about him recently.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's a user of Trade Ogre. At least he was. But yeah, that went down. So that's why the all-time high was just like a small increment up, because Coinbase didn't go with Trade Ogre. Fucking shitcoin. Like it's like Coinbase is bad, but Trade Ogre is like another level of shitcoin.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know what to say about this. For people who are still using these services, like the only reason you would use something like Trade Ogre, Coinbase, whatever, is because either you have like a discount at volume, or because you aren't allowed to use Bull Bitcoin or whatever.
No. Trade Ogre gives you the ability, I believe. Like there's shit coins there that you.
That's what I mean. There's tons of stuff there, but like, why would you ever buy Bitcoin there?
That was the one that he was. R coin. That was the one he was talking about. This was years ago, and it had this massive run up, and he got it through Trade Ogre.
I didn't know that.
Where did R go from there? I don't know. Fuck no.
Oh,
But
man.
speaking of Monero, like we could just talk about that really quick.
51%. Oh my God.
Well, it's
I
an
know.
apparent 51%.
Yeah.
There's disputes, but it looks like there's been 2 or 3 reorgs in the past little while. So that leads me to believe that there is some power out there that is controlling a heck of a lot of the hash rate and doing something behind it. I don't want to get into specifics about what happened in Monero, but I want to use it as a talking point for what could potentially happen with Bitcoin, because right now with Bitcoin, we got to use the Monero thing as a learning opportunity. In Bitcoin, Foundry is the dominant mining pool. It's around 30% of the overall hash rate. The next is 16%. I forget the name of that mining pool, but 30% is a significant amount. Obviously, it's not the majority, but it's a decent amount. In the past week, Foundry has found 8 consecutive blocks, and I believe today they found 9 consecutive blocks. It's a rarity this happens, but it does happen, right? And so you have to look at this as a potential cause for concern. Why? Because Foundry is building blocks. I could have a miner, and I could point it to whatever pool I want, but it's the pool themselves that are the one that are building the blocks. They could decide what goes in and how the block looks. And that's why you have to look at Stratum V2 or even Datum or Datum. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that from Ocean, because it does give the ability out there for the end user, the miner itself, to build whatever template they want.
Oh, Ocean is great. The tide. Have you seen, you know how the tides thing works on Ocean?
No.
So Ocean, I was talking to a friend of the show today who we will be talking about later. And he was explaining to me that Ocean has an 8 block like layover basically. So as long as your miner's on within 8 blocks of one that they hit, you get paid.
Okay.
How's that? That's pretty good, right? Because just in case you have to turn your miner off or you got to reset or you want to change the configuration or whatever, you don't get rugged, right? Everything else, you have to be connected when the block hits to get paid. And these guys are not doing that. So it sort of incentivizes miners staying on or whatever. I really like that. I had no idea they did that until today.
They're innovative in that regard. And a lot of hash power is going towards there. And Bob Burnett has said in the past that he's tried a variety of different pools. And for whatever reason, his payouts are the highest with Ocean. I'm not sure if that's over the long run, but from what data he has and has been talking about, Ocean is the best from what he is talking about with getting the most out of it. But with respect to hash rate and building own blocks and shit like that, it's about time, I think, that we advance people to use Stratum V2. We got to push that narrative that this has to be used more so in the future. I think only one pool uses that, and I don't even remember the fucking name of it, to be honest.
Is it Brains?
Either way. Brains is the one that created it. I don't even know if they fucking use it.
I don't know if they do either.
Nonetheless, I mean, this is a topic of discussion that should be talked about. It's not other things. Other things are like, it's just a lot of fucking noise, right? This is potential signal we got to deal with.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
I don't like seeing hash rate tied a lot to Foundry or one particular entity. I want to see this decentralized as much as possible. Look what happened to fucking Monero. Not to say that it's easy to happen with Bitcoin, but let's try to decentralize this as much as possible.
I just want to look at the total hash rate here. You talking to
a Zeta hash recently, but
it's only going up. Like the thing that I would point to people is it's only going up. And if you want to be part of that, you have an opportunity to help decentralize the network. We talked about this when we partnered with Decentral for a time and sold, who knows how many of those miner units, however many they made, we sold them all. And I think one of the reasons is, it's a cool gadget for sure. I like having mine. It's kind of nice to look at and looks neat and has our logo on it. It's like a sign that we, did something right. But the other reason I do it is because you want to be part of a decentralized mining network. Like Len said, you don't want all the hash power with 2, 3, 4 miners, right? Marathon, Foundry, whatever. And just be at the behest of these guys for blocks. With all the censorship potential and the whims of government, especially in the United States, you can't risk that. And I was happy to see the other day that a solo miner hit a block again. I think it's 8 blocks this year now have been hit by solo miners, which is pretty nuts. It tells you that there's a lot of people mining at their house, which I really, really like. And more people should do that, I think. And Ocean is the pool to use. Unless you're lotto mining, Ocean is the pool you want to use.
All right.
Like with a bid axe, you'd be lotto mining. But if you're not using a bid axe, Ocean is the pool to use.
All right. There's some drama going around Bitcoin.
Here we go.
30.
Here we go. Len just made the face. The drama face is there. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there is lots of drama. And this is an unreleased version of Bitcoin Core. It's set to be released in the next while. I'm not exactly sure when it comes out. So we're currently at version 29.x, whatever the fuck it is. Either way, the issue that people are highlighting with Bitcoin Core version 30 is that it's going to include a minimum transaction fee of 0.1 sats per VByte. And right now, the minimum stands at 1 sat per VByte. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we talked about this 0.1 sats per VByte in a previous episode of the CBP because it's noted in mempools out there that it's out, like people are broadcasting these transactions, right? And people want cheaper transactions, but it looks like there may be an unintended consequence of this. And so guys like Mechanic are out there, and he's fucking really beating the war drum here.
I gotta watch his latest video, but yeah, he is. You're right.
And he's saying by lowering the minimum transactions, the fees to 0.1, it plays in the hands of people that are doing stuff like runes.
Yep.
And that's stuff that's been polluting Bitcoin mempools out there for some time. All thanks to Casey Rodimer. Thank you very much to that motherfucker. And so they're going to benefit from this, apparently, according to Mechanic. And it's further pushes the narrative that we need alternate clients out there. So you have Core. Knots is another one. It could be a potential solution to this because it gives people the opportunity to filter out spam from their mempool, but also gives you variables which you could play with. And it seems like some of these variables, well, not even variables, they're just coming out of they're being removed from Bitcoin Core. So I'm looking at this with respect to Core. It's certainly a step in the wrong direction. I want people to have options. I want people to have some level of control. If they want to do something with it, fine. If they don't want to do something, that's fine. I don't want people to be painted to a corner, forcefully told what to do. It's good to have choice with software, but it's good to have choice within that software. And Knots gives you that. And there's a lot of people out there that are just shitting on Knots. There's a lot of people out there shitting on Core. There's a lot of drama going on with this. And I didn't believe there would be some unintended consequences like this, but man, like we got to think these things through more. That's the way. Like we can't rush into this. This is a fucking something that could potentially sideswipe the monetary system. We can't fuck it up. Not now.
Where do you come down on sort of the tactics being deployed by both sides? I love the Mechanic videos, and like I said, I haven't watched the most recent one from I think 2 or 3 days ago. I will, but it seems to me like we're not like our message. Sort of let's call it the Knots message is not landing. It's not hitting the ears it's supposed to be hitting. And
no pun intended, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like it's isn't it sort of weird that we keep on going this road where like Mechanic is the only guy making videos? Like where is, and I said this to Jeff Walton last week too, and I'll say it again here. Like where are the guys like Sailor, Preston Pish had Mechanic on a while ago. I'd love for him to get back on that show. I want to hear more from Ben Perrin. I want to hear more from some of the guys who claim to be, we're the biggest channels in Bitcoin. Like Luke Michich, he's never going to talk about this. Like the Pleb Underground guys will talk about it, and Phil knows his shit, and Sir Ulrich knows his shit, and Humble Warrior, I think her name is, knows her shit. Like that, like those guys are talking about it. But where are the monster channels? Where are the monster personalities and the monster names trying to defend the network when it's showing vulnerabilities? Like you can't say that it's a free market of ideas and then say it's up to everyone else to decide. Like participate. You have a lot of, you have a lot of wealth riding on this, but you have a lot of reputational and sort of responsibility riding on it as well. You should be talking about this with people on your platform in a forum where they can see it. And it seems like we're just talking to each other. It's not going to work. So what do? I don't know. Like what is the other option? Some of the core devs don't seem willing to talk about it. Some people on Twitter talking about how the core devs are compromised now. That's been a sort of thesis from a lot of people for better part of 365 days at this point. But I don't know. Where do you come down on all that stuff?
Well, why?
I just want to say,
Boomer
Boomer in the chat is saying Pish has been adamant about knots. Yeah, but like, I want to see him talking about it all the time. I don't want to see him. It's important. Like if I go to his podcast stream, not that he has to do it every Wednesday, okay?
Okay.
But if I go to his podcast feed, I gotta find it here. This is good content for the show.
Yeah, John is saying that. Yeah, look at the knots percentage. Like, didn't we cross somewhere like 50%?
It is doing well. Don't get me wrong.
And Boom does saying that 5K that Peter Todd got for that fucking this goes to show you his.
I know he's compromised. He's compromised.
No, I don't. That's maybe the wrong. What is his priorities?
Yeah.
If you're willing to sell something like that,
I know.
Right? He's going out. For people who aren't aware, he posted on X. Somebody paid for him to post something on X, and it was to promote a shit coin, a meme coin on Solana.
Fuck.
And he said it. He did this. I thought it was a hack. That was the first thing I thought. And somebody else asked if it was a hack, but he said no. It was somebody paid him for this. So This is the guy that was supposed to be Satoshi. I can't believe somebody even fucking put that.
Yeah, they made a documentary about the guy being Satoshi. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
We had other guys that fucking Craig Wright. Remember that Indian guy that claimed to be Satoshi sometime ago?
He was the best. Yeah. Actual Indian guy,
Latoshi?
like East Asian Indian guy. Yeah, that was
Latoshi. We haven't heard from him from some time.
What's he saying?
These all people, right? So
I don't think it's good. None of this is good.
None of it exactly. So to go back, Sailor. Why would Sailor do this though? This isn't. Not only is this not his forte.
Well,
he's focused on other things, and I don't want to be a Sailor apologist.
Yeah,
I hate to be in this position.
I know.
But
I know.
He's anything but going to be talking about a core versus knots. That's not his thing.
The thing is, it's not like that's okay. But when you talk about core versus not, it's not which executable file, which .msi you like better for your node. Okay, like what it is does this thing work as money or not? Like that is the question being asked when you talk about core versus knots. And so for a guy like Sailor who talks about, well, we need this thing to work, blah blah blah. Okay, well, support the thing that makes it work, not the thing that puts art on it. You talk all the time about how this is not. And it's generational technology. Does generational technology allow and like I shouldn't even say allow, but encourage the proliferation of JPEG frogs? I would argue no. These other coins that you're bringing over the character. I mean, we've done this talk a million times. I don't even want to do it again. But you don't want to bring characteristics and capabilities over from coins that have failed to usurp Bitcoin. Why take the best traits from losers? That's not how evolution works or should work. You take the best traits from winners.
Same losers have lost, but they have some wealth that they have accumulated.
They're trying to bury the beast, right? Yeah, exactly. I'm with you on that.
Well, why bring that
I don't know.
Arbitrary data has existed since day one.
Yeah.
It's just how the arbitrary data, it's how much arbitrary data is being stored, but also then when you're trying to do an execution of something like that's the abuse of syntax, I guess you could call it, for like ordinals, then it's crossing a line that it's probably not where we should be. And Ben, go back to him. Isn't he on vacation, or am I wrong?
Oh, I don't know.
And if he's on vacation,
we just did a show last week. So,
but is he doing it
on vacation? I don't know.
Is he doing it on site, like on his house, or is he doing it remotely?
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
I don't want to be an apologist, but I think that last I saw he was went on vacation.
Maybe
like his first ever vacation. They went.
Maybe it's not necessarily like I want to hold Ben's feet to the fire either. But he's a guy who gets the technicalities of all this. Understands how these things work more than I do for sure. And I don't know. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of people, and I said this to our friend today over a tall boy. I'll say it to you now. There's a lot of people in Bitcoin who were losers their entire lives. They don't know what it's like to be looked to by the masses for an opinion, to be offered up riches and generational wealth for their platforms. And I think you're seeing it a lot of places. And, while I did expect to see it, I didn't expect to see it from guys like Peter Todd. That's a tough one, I think, for a lot of people to swallow. Like, I was paid to tweet this. Well, so what? So what? Don't do it. Don't set the example for the ecosystem that you want to represent the thing that you're trying to build. Not, I told you I was tweeting it for cash, and so it's okay. Like,
That's
I don't know.
fucking such a bad stance.
That guy's
If it
probably
was-
got so much fucking money from having Bitcoin, presumably, right? And yet he needs 5K that bad that he like. This is the other thing. Like, a lot of people talk about how they manage money well and they got long time horizons, but I just don't see it
No,
in
a lot
the
of it-
behaviors. I don't see it in
it's
the
just-
behaviors. I
it's
don't.
some people just got
I'm
lucky.
out here wearing no name fucking sweaters with my kids' drool on them, no name T-shirts. Like, why is it that the guys who have been in this the longest seem to have like a lack of control? Like, the reason we talk about kill your heroes all the time is not because it's a cool thing to say or it's in like, the
know what
Stoics books.
It's like
It's because it's happening more and more frequently. We needed some way to verbalize it. That's
you
why.
know, they probably come to a point they just don't give a fuck. And I'm not trying to justify what they're doing. Remember George Costanza when he was wearing velvet, right? And that's basically it. They're wearing fucking velvet.
Maybe it's because of this show that I'm getting all these targeted Instagram ads from Seinfeld hits. Like, there's a lot of like Seinfeld's greatest moments that are coming to me on all my social platforms all the time. Maybe it's because I'm spending this time with you. My computer is putting two and two together. I don't know that guy Len, but he's talking a lot about Seinfeld when Joey's with him. We might as well feed him some ads. I got one today about Jerry Kramer. If I killed somebody, would you rat me out? Kramer's like, right away.
You know, I'll give you.
Wouldn't even think about it.
My father-in-law and mother-in-law, they don't get along all that well, right? Which is
Typical.
funny.
Old Italian families always like that.
But they're celebrating. I think it's their 52nd anniversary coming up this weekend, right?
Good for them.
But my father-in-law said a few times. He said, "If this is and I can't believe I'm saying this. If I killed you a long time ago, I would have gotten out of jail and been a free man." Instead of still being in prison right now. Oh man. Anyways, that's the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that because
formerly strategic, formerly reserve. What do we go?
Well, okay. Best and beside, who the fuck the guy? Who cares? The Trump administration. They're saying it looks like this thing could be a reality after all this SPR. And I was making fun of the SPR last week, right? And I was saying, like, look, this idea was potentially shelved. We'd having her fuck all from them, but I probably have to eat crow on this one, Joey, because
it's
looks
still
like,
kind of shelved. Okay, go ahead.
Well, the way they're talking about it, they're saying that they're going to use confiscated Bitcoin as a way to start funding it. And you know what? I got to give them credit. They say, oh, they'll be the foundation of their SPR. Okay. Germany, not too long ago, last year, I believe it was.
Yeah.
In August. Maybe 1 year ago around this
Look
time.
at the price chart. The price chart. I'll tell you exactly
50 to
when
60.
it was.
Yeah, exactly that. So it was 50 to 60 range. They sold a ton of Bitcoin. I don't remember the exact amount, but everyone made fun of fucking Germany, and rightfully so, for selling the Bitcoin. Now the United States is saying, we're not going to do this. Rather than sell it, we're going to keep it and add it to our reserves. I don't know why anybody could say this is stupid, because they're keeping whatever they confiscate. That's wonderful.
Wait a minute. Who's saying it's stupid?
I don't know. There are people out there looking at this news, this idea. People are saying this could be potentially 6102 people's Bitcoin. Like, no. And if they do 6102 some Bitcoin, make sure it's not yours because you got KYC free Bitcoin, or at least mixed Bitcoin. All so let somebody else be the fucking shun guy that gives it up. Don't be the one that's giving it up yourself. So this news, I can't say it's that bad. Right?
Okay.
Like it's not like you're spending any money here.
Okay, but compare it to the conference.
It could be a lot better.
Yeah.
It could be a lot worse too.
Oh yeah, I mean, it could always be worse. Like, we're not, we're selling the Bitcoin we have. The problem I have with the announcement is that a guy like Besant, who understands Bitcoin, it seems to me, I mean, Lutnick understands it. Trump and his kids understand it. They must understand it at the highest levels of the administration. Sachs and those guys, they all get it. Bo Hines, formerly administrative member there, Bo Hines, they all get it. But then when Besant goes on TV, he says, yeah, our Bitcoin holdings are like 15 or 20 billion. Well, like, how much? How much do you have? How much did you sell? Have you not looked at this? Like, 15 to 20 billion is a pretty big gap. It tells me that they're not really looking at what they own. They don't know how much they have. They don't know. I bet you they don't know where it is. And I bet you, Len, they've probably sold a bunch over the last 5 or 6 years. That government, Len's laundry's finished.
Yeah.
Dance to the song.
They may have sold it, but
I have a newborn. I haven't heard that song in 9 months. So
why?
I turned it off. when she was sleeping, he used to wake her up.
Oh, I didn't even know there was an option to turn it off. I'd rather like it because now I got an audible.
It's a good jingle. It's a good jingle. I do the trap elbows around my house. Trap elbows for the millennials, for the Zoomers. Yeah.
So with respect to this decision, at least going forward, if we believe this to be true, they're not going to sell any of their Bitcoin until there's a change in administration or change of heart.
Mm-hmm.
So they may have sold up until now.
That's a win in your books. You're usually a much harsher critic than that.
Hey, for this, it's definitely revenue. Well, taxpayer neutral. It's costing taxpayers zero, right?
Yeah,
they're not investing anything aside from the cost in terms of manpower to seize that Bitcoin.
Yeah,
they're not printing any new money to buy this Bitcoin. Like it's there, keeping it. Like I just go back to the Germany example and how people made fun. And they deserve to get made fun of all kinds for that move and other moves as well. The United States is not doing it. And so I look at that, it's like, good for you for not selling. I like this. And maybe there's potential to add to it in the future. But at the very least now, whatever they seize, and there's going to be lots of opportunities to do this moving forward, I would imagine, they're going to keep it. Wonderful. I like it.
I hope
you're right.
Could be
a lot worse.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I'm a little worried that Bo Hines left the admin. I want to see what he does next. If he joins like a crypto company and not a Bitcoin company, it'll tell me a little bit about what their strategy is at the White House. I no longer hear really Trump talking about Bitcoin. Obviously, JD Vance, same thing. Vance and a few others were just at the All-In Crypto and AI Summit 2 weeks ago. Bitcoin barely mentioned. I didn't hear it at all, actually, in the interviews that they published, but maybe I missed it. I could be wrong about that. And then I look at this commentary from Scott Bessent about we're not planning on buying Bitcoin. Well, do I want the government to use confiscated assets to build the reserve? Maybe. How important is the Bitcoin reserve then? I think becomes the question. If it's really important, you may find that suddenly there's a lot more scrutiny on exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, and the like, trying to find people who are committing crimes with Bitcoin. And to do that, you have to use the very, very questionable practices employed by Chainalysis and similar firms. And you may find that the government now is reaching a bit to try and get that Bitcoin if it's important. If it's not important and they don't confiscate any Bitcoin or confiscate very little, let's say just the sloppiest criminals have their Bitcoin confiscated, then they don't reap the benefits of having the Bitcoin in the treasury. And we go down this fiat road anyways. And I think it benefits the holders even more. So as a country, they have to make a decision about where their priorities are and act accordingly. It's difficult for people with Bitcoin if they really care about it. But if they don't, then it's good for people with Bitcoin, I think. And I'll just reiterate that you are not going to see this government in the States save you the way that you thought that they might if you were a big Trump 47 guy during the election. I think we did a good job measuring our expectations for Trump all along the way, even though a lot of people didn't. I just want to address Mixed Picks in the comments here. I'm going to read what he said. There were two bills, a strategic Bitcoin reserve and a U.S. digital asset stockpile. The crypto reserve was just them trying to figure out what they have, or the crypto stockpile. I agree with you there, but I think Bessent was talking specifically about the reserve in this case. And he's mentioned it a few times since. I don't think they're looking to buy either one.
If they were looking to buy,
I think they may actually be looking to transfer crypto stockpile stuff into Bitcoin at some point or sell it. I think that's a liquid, expendable account. So we'll call it, but the Bitcoin reserve is not.
Let's explore this buy option, right? So they go out and they buy Bitcoin, and
they want it to be like you said. What was the word they used? Revenue neutral,
taxpayer neutral,
whatever.
Or something.
Yeah.
So if they're to buy, I assume, and jump in if I'm wrong, it'd be through new borrowed money.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be able to reduce their expenditures and use that reduction in expenditures to buy Bitcoin. They'd have to add, and that's more debt.
So funny.
Now, by doing that, then that is essentially printing money to buy Bitcoin.
Budget neutral is the word. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
And
yeah, printing money to buy Bitcoin. Yeah.
If they do print money to buy Bitcoin, what's the signal you're giving to the world for the US dollar? The US dollar is worthless.
I mean, we know this. The thing is that they know this already.
You can't
too,
do that.
Right? Yeah.
They can't play that card yet.
Yeah.
Maybe they
okay.
could play it eventually. But
What
today,
about the
they don't have
stables? Like
ability.
the stables, you know, the case for the stable coins is that they understand that domestically and in the, I guess we'll call it the developed world. This mic's blocking my head on the camera. In the developed world, you're going to see a significant decline in demand for the US dollar because of this and because of stuff like Bitcoin. And so stable coins are going to help prop up the demand by offering it to the third world. And, that increases the demand for treasuries alongside and all these different things. So I think they're kind of telegraphing that they think the dollar is going to lose value anyway. And in the sort of most obvious sense, they're talking about devaluing the dollar for the purpose of trade and whatnot, right? So, whether it's because they want to trade or because, like we think, and a lot of Bitcoiners probably would agree, they want to accelerate their debasement to get out of the debt crisis they're in. I think they're already playing that card. The bigger card is, do they think something is worth more than the dollar? I think is the best way to put that, to your point. And I think that if they do start buying with borrowed money, yeah, they're telling you that they think something is worth
It's
more.
a signal, definitely.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're not selling is an indication that they believe that to be the case.
Maybe,
They're not selling their Bitcoin. But
Yeah.
at least they're not actively going out to further devalue their dollar so
I just want to say, people who we don't usually lose anybody at the hour. We actually gain people, it seems to me, when we start talking about Notable North. But at the beginning of the Notable North, we're gonna reveal a surprise on this show that I think you guys are really gonna like.
Do you want to do it at the show or the Hamilton versus?
We should do it in the middle, just in case people don't make it all the way. We'll do it in the middle, and then from now on, we'll do that little thing before the Hamilton versus Brampton, man.
So Wasabi news came out today, and apparently these guys from Slow Mist, they developed Slow Mist, MIST. They developed something called a Mist Tracker, and that is a way to determine where funds come from using Wasabi. So using that to do some coin join to try
the coordinator, yeah.
So looking at this, people using Wasabi, interesting that there's a way to.
Wasabi just released a 2.0 not many years ago, right? As I Google it, making sure I'm on some kind of.
I thought it was just this year there was something came up with this.
It might have been.
I think it was May or June of this year.
All your traffic is routed through Tor, ensuring privacy and anonymity. That's the first line on the website. Holy smokes. Yeah.
So they're saying that there's advanced on-chain analytics that are now capable using this tool, using Slow Mist's Mist Tracker tool. And this was released just the past few days, August 15th. So on Friday, this came out. Interesting. So I have nothing else. This is all just.
Do you believe it? Chainalysis famously flimsy in their conclusions. So I don't know. Guys like this, smart people, Francis among them, talk about how these tools just are not. It's a false bill of sale. So, I don't know. I remain skeptical that this is actually happening, and I think that the more these things are published, the more it's like there's really focused messaging trying to keep people away from coin joining. And that tells me that maybe it's not quite as easy to break as these guys would have you believe.
Well, Joy Market is, I think the
Lightning. Use Lightning.
Lightning is good too.
Yeah.
So news this past week, and Google came out with something and then backtracked. They made some headlines, and they said there was a new policy that was put in place that they were going to be forcing all applications on their platform, on their Play Store, to adhere to certain rules. So if you wanted to publish and have it on their Play Store, they needed to be KYC wallets /AML. So the non-custodial stuff would have gotten to boot. That was the original message that came out. They came out, and I'm not sure if it was due to the backlash in the community or Google just decided, they actually did clarify this, that they made a mistake. They decided it's basically status quo. So you're still able to have those non-custodial apps that are going to be available on Google Play Store, or just whatever. I can't believe there's a lot of.
I think Google's not telling the truth. And this is actually why Ben sent me a message on Wednesday night and said, you should do Why Are We Bullish? We need another guy. We'll talk about the wallets. So I said, sure. And during the time that I was waiting for my slot, I went last. Google announced they were going to sort of pull back on this policy. Google saying it was an error never should have been published. Didn't mean to capture that. That's obviously a lie. If you look at the release, there's a table. Google put out very plainly exactly what they meant. It's crypto wallets. They think the crypto wallets should have to have money transmission licenses. This is, in my opinion, okay, so I'll put on my black cap here. In my opinion, all wallets will have to have money transmission licenses before the end of the 2020s. And it's because by any standard, they are money transmitters. If we think that this thing is worth money and it has a USD exchange rate and all this stuff, they will need licenses. That's number one. Number two, I think that signing software, Sparrow, for example, will need to be KYC AML'd as well. And it's easy for people to say, and I saw this a lot last week, it's easy for people to say, well, we'll just fork the GitHub repo, or we'll just sideload the software, or we'll just do whatever. And to those people, I would say that you've sort of missed the boat on that, because everything is so centralized now at the ISP level and similar levels that, for example, if you were going to fork that software, someone would have to host it. And so whether it's you hosting on your PC and using torrents, whether it's you hosting on, some website, you name it, that traffic is clear net, easy to identify. And as people stop using it, it becomes easier to identify still for the people who are holdouts and continue to break that law. That's one problem. The second problem is that, the expectation of Bitcoiners, I think, continues to be unrealistic, that we will become global monetary baseline, global monetary settlement layer, global monetary whatever, and not have to follow any rules. These are pretty obvious to me. I think wallets should at some point get targeted, or will at some point get targeted, I should say. Whether I want them to or not is irrelevant. Obviously, I prefer they didn't, but it seems to me obvious that this is going to happen. And again, I think there still exists this sort of this jungle Vietnam warrior who doesn't know the war is over, who doesn't know the battle has changed. And it's no longer about peer-to-peer transactions at the artisanal cheese market. Those artisanal cheese markets are great. They're important. I'm glad people are doing those things. But the idea that you're going to become global money without being at least looked at by big governments, it's hard to imagine, honestly. And, we've talked on the other show, Len, on Axis of Easy, about how now the government can target your ISP traffic without telling you. Your ISP has to provide that information. They're under a gag order as soon as they get the request. There's very little opportunity for you as a Bitcoiner to know whether or not your traffic is being looked at. And again, like I always say, these are not institutions like, law enforcement, for example, is not particularly keen on giving you an out. They will make you find a loophole, find an issue with their practices, find a way out of their grasp. But that initial grasp is tough. And, like I said on Ben's show, guys like Craig Raw and other people who make wallets, even our friend Praveen, is Praveen really going to stand up to the U.S. government if they tell him the KYC?
No, he won't, and nor would they. They don't have the resources. They don't have the voice to do it. They have none of that. Yeah. But who does have it?
Who?
Somebody else. Somebody else could just simply
Peter Todd if he sells a few more ads. Who's got the resources?
There's an example. But anybody that just wants to remain anonymous, you could do that. And there's tons of ways you could remain anonymous and hide your tracks, your IP and stuff like that. And
I think it's really hard. I think it's way harder than we know.
You may think it's very difficult, but I could go on GitHub right now, and I know GitHub is a centralized repository
owned by Microsoft. Stuff.
Yeah. But I could go and I could find hacking tools on there. Just simply, it exists. It's freely available, and it's open source. Yeah. So what I'm trying to get at is a lot of the tools that currently exist, like the Sparrows and shit like that, they're open source. So if something comes out that forces their makers' hands, the people that are administering it right now, you have to follow these rules. Nothing is stopping somebody else to just pick it up and say, I'm going to fork it and go into a different direction and not follow suit from that.
Except
and
the
anybody
threat
that
of jail.
wants to use it,
Except the threat of jail.
Wonderful. And you could propose that to anybody. Nothing is going to stop you or I or anybody.
I hope you're right.
And so
I do, but I just don't see it. I don't see it being quite as like I don't think honestly that we have the sort of like nuts for it to do it. If someone says to you, if the government says to you, operating,
you have to use a piece of software that's been blessed by a particular entity in order to use it. You give the middle finger to that. You could simply, if you really wanted to, fly to if you really wanted to play by the rules, fly to a jurisdiction that doesn't have this type of thing, perform a transaction there, fly back, and you basically did it.
I just want to say
very costly to do it that method, or you could just use a VPN or
you need support. The other thing I said on Ben's show is that for Google to write that in their terms tells me they have government support. To John's point in the chat, John says the encryption wars established code is speech. It's very hard for the U.S. government to reverse that Supreme Court judgment for wallets. No one's suggesting they're going to reverse it. You can publish whatever app you want, but if you write an app that deals in Bitcoin transactions, you need to KYC AML your users. It's money transmission.
If that ever happens,
you become a person who is facilitating the transfer of money.
Yeah, and if that ever happens, that would have no fucking teeth whatsoever. It would just be all bar.
Well, I don't understand why you say that. I love the sort of chutzpah from the Bitcoiners about this, but I do not see that being the case in reality. I do not see that being the case.
How could you stop somebody from running a piece of software on your fucking computer and all it's doing is signing a transaction on a node which you presumably run?
Yeah.
And it's where it's located, who the fuck knows? Because you have access to the onion address. It doesn't.
I don't know.
Physically
I don't know
located where you are.
Yeah.
There's so many fucking ways.
I'm only saying that we don't know what the community is made of for something like this.
I don't care what the community is. You know what it is too. No, there's a truth to this. There's a lot of people out there, and there's so much hype about companies buying Bitcoin, publicly traded companies buying Bitcoin. And you know what? They could do whatever the fuck they want, but that's not Bitcoin, man. What Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash that cannot be fucking debased. I have control that it doesn't adhere to fucking borders, all that shit. That's Bitcoin. So when the companies start buying Bitcoin, that's fiat. And so it's a totally different topic altogether. So when you're talking about this, Bitcoin is doing what you want. Right now it's within the laws, and if they change it, like, come on, man, it's not going to be that difficult if one really wanted to continually use Bitcoin and sign transactions without really getting your wrist slapped. I'm on that side of the fence. And you know what? Side loading, if you want to do it, I have side loaded tons and I'll continue to side load tons. I have many apps that not have any affiliation whatsoever to Google. They're F-Droid, they're open source. And I'll continue to use those applications. I like supporting them and I like what they do. And they help me.
I hope you guys are right. John in the chat saying the same thing. I'm extending a dubious argument. I don't view it that way. And we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Remember
with these
what Bitcoin is, and anything else. Like it's just fiat nonsense. That's what this is. It's fiat.
There is a bit of whack-a-mole going on
not
here.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, there's whack-a-mole going on here that's going to get harder for governments for sure. The question is, can we push it out far enough where we are too far ahead of the hammer to worry about getting our heads wrapped? Anyway, that's it for the Bitcoin stories.
And we didn't even talk about President Nixon's fucking decision.
President Nick's off. Am I right? That's my name today. I like that a lot. Gold standard, 50th anniversary. Nice. No.
Is it 50? No, it's 50.
Got to be 55, 54.
54. Yeah.
He was in 71, so 54.
54 years.
There you go. Yeah.
France got
happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Okay, if you're on audio, come back tomorrow. If you're on video, stay here. Don't forget, I'm about to reveal a nice surprise and a new CBP partner. So hang out. We'll talk to you in a sec.
Don't be a cock.
Okay, Len, tell me, do you hear anything in the background of my video?
No.
Does anyone in the chat hear anything in the background of my video? Anyone? Have a good listen.
they're not going to be able to answer because there's a delay. So you have to wait.
Well,
like
I'm
30
wait.
seconds.
I'll just wait. No problem. I don't mind.
Oh, then we're going to go long today, Joey, because I got
This is
tons to talk
a
about.
community chat. Okay. Behind me here, I have a 256 heat minor. I'm going to pull it up here. Len, you talk about it a bit. I'm going to go pick it up.
So it is a S19, one of the variants of that. And it's set up so that it is heating his room. He plugged it into the 110 volt outlet in his house. And yeah, it's just a mining away. Look at the... he's actually mining. He's actually mining at his house using a S19. And it's heating his room at the same time. So in the wintertime, if you have a room that needs to be heated up and you're going to be using electricity to heat it, might as well use one of these guys. Or if you're going to just heat up an area like a garage or something and you need it, these are great devices to do that. So quiet, and you can show it off. It's a good talking point. What's the website?
Sick. It's 256heat.com.
Heat.com.
Yeah, Twan, friend of the show. Twan's been on the show. I went to see him today, and he has a couple of different prototypes in his house that look like really fucking good. Really fucking good. I told him to sell those ones to somebody else. Don't give it to me. So this thing runs on its own. Easy setup. Comes with a Wi-Fi extender so you can connect to your network. Everything is there, and the best part, Len, it's on a 120 plug. So
I think it's drawing, am I right, 1400 watts? Am I right?
It goes up to 1400. Mine is running a lot lower than that right now, just because I haven't set it up to run that hot.
So
but I could actually do it. Yeah, I could actually increase it from my phone if I want.
And you could throttle it down significantly if you want.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing is there's a happy medium you have to find somewhere. In terms of like the efficiency, it goes down when you really like say put 400 or 500 watts through it.
Oh,
it's not as efficient.
Well, it's still run.
It's much happier to higher.
It'll still run though.
Yeah, it will still. So you can mine and do your thing.
And
so
this thing gets up to I think 150 terahashes. So we did a quick comparison today. Yeah, we did a quick comparison today at Twan's house. I don't want to speak out of turn, but Twan could maybe tell me if I'm wrong about this. I think the Bidax gets 3 terahashes. The Supras, the Bidax Supras, gets 3 terahashes for about $500. That unit behind me, it retails for $19.50, but it's like
it's all Canadian dollars, by the way.
It's all Canadian dollars, and it comes like that's an older sort of model that I'm working with there with the as far as the aesthetic. But that thing per terahash is like $39 compared to the Bidax, which is like 175 or something like that, something insane. So for people who are solo mining, this thing in Ontario, again, I'm kind of speaking out of turn here, but sorry, Twan, I want to pump your product a bit here. In Ontario, this thing will run for, if you let it run 24/7 and you don't have any special, like hydro setup, it'll run for about $125 a month and pay out current price $140. So it'll cover your costs plus more if you realize the gains and sell to pay your hydro, whatever, but you don't have to, obviously. You can imagine if you ran this for a year ago, how much you'd be up right now. You can imagine if you were on the ultra low overnight rate, which you can go to with the province. I think it's 2.8 cents a kilowatt hour overnight, how much you'd be up. And best of all, Len, this one is just going to heat this room because this room is cold. It's actually cold enough that I'm still wearing a sweatshirt because I haven't set this thing up to run hot yet. But like, you could hook this thing up to your HVAC. You could put it in a room that's cold. I actually didn't tell Twan this, but I might in the fall actually go buy one from him, another one, and put it in a garage gym that I'm going to build. I'm going to move my gym to the garage and put it in there. Like, the options are endless. And I think on this show, what we try and do when it comes to people we partner with is 2 things. One, we try and give you the stuff that we use ourselves, okay? And 2 is we try and give you something that I think is beneficial for you to have or use or whatever. So whether it's Bull Bitcoin or Market Easy DNS, we liked Decentral for a time, and when things started to go sideways with the service, we said, we're going to part ways here. Don't worry about the partnership. I met Twan today for the first time. We've obviously been, sort of affiliated, talked to him for a long time now in the group chat that we have. But seeing the passion that he has, seeing the understanding he has of how to build these things and sort of what's going on with the difficulty some people are having. I'll give you a good example of this. When Tuan builds these units, one of the things he looks at is not just the decibels of the noise, but the frequency. So this fan behind me is very low frequency. It's what you would call white noise. It sounds like a fan running in your room or something. It kind of just blends into the ambient sound. Whereas miners without the engineering that he's done are much higher frequency, that high hum that you hear. For example, when you listen to an industrial miner, if you go back to that Pierre Rochard, this miner doesn't produce any CO2 video, the hum is very high and it's abrasive to your ears and it's abrasive to your thoughts. This one is not like that. That's because Tuan cares about the stuff that he makes. And when he sells you something, he's not selling it to you just because he wants to move product, but he's also thinking about, okay, I want to make the best thing possible. I care about the space. I care about my reputation. And that's why we're partnering with him. So I don't even know what we're exactly doing, getting out of this. Len took care of that, but I don't care because I really like the product. I think it's very good. I've had it in here the whole time. I kind of moved it out of the way there, but I had it in here the whole time. You guys can't hear it, and it's hashing. And
you could sleep next to it. That's a
100%. 100%.
You could definitely you could have it in your room that you're sleeping in, and you're not going to notice it.
Yeah.
So if your room is cool and you don't want it to stay cool,
it's this thing is plug and play. Like you bring it home. The Wi-Fi extender that comes with it. You just you download the TP-Link app on your phone. Off you go. Piece of cake. Everything is built into it. It's truly a all-in-one unit, and I'm looking forward to working with them. I hope you guys give this a look, and if you do, just tell them we sent you. That's all we ask.
Air Canada strike is going on.
Woof.
Still, right? They've been ordered back, but still, so people who are unaware, this is the flight attendants that are on strike. There was no deal that they've been at the bargaining table for around 8 months, and through that 8 months they haven't been able to come to an agreement, and so they decided, you know what, let's going to go on strike. That's their have the the right to do that, I guess, right?
Yeah, their prerogative. Yeah.
So yeah,
they thought anyway until yesterday.
Air Canada. This was a Crown Corp up until the late 80s. It was 89.
It still is
pseudo because it gets every so often bailed out.
Yeah. Why else?
And then they're forced to go back to work.
Yeah. Why else?
Or they're using some legislation.
There's ownership rules. It has to be owned 50-something% by Canadians, and it's got all sorts of other nonsense that basically makes that entire industry, that entire sector, non-competitive.
You know what's odd about this is that they had an agreement in place back in 2015, and that agreement obviously didn't have the foresight. Nobody had the foresight to figure out that the price of shit would go up tremendously past 2020.
Yeah.
So their earning power today is nowhere near where it was in 2015 because price has gone way higher than their wages. So they want to get paid in accordance to what things are right now. So I think what they're talking about is some sort of 30-something% compensation in the first year, something like that. But it's not all just wages. I think 8 to 10% is for 1 year. The rest is for other sort of benefits that come along with it. So I mean, I look at that. I'm kind of sympathetic towards what they're dealing with because, as we talked about this start of the show, they're doing work without getting paid for it. That's bullshit. I wouldn't want to see anybody do that. But what's even stranger is that they have, I guess, as per law, the ability to strike. They do it, then the government tells them to go back to work.
Yeah.
So are they an essential service then? And if you're an essential service, do you get paid to be an essential service because you should get paid a little bit more as a result?
I don't know. Yeah. Are they calling it this an essential service? Is that what they're doing? Sort of.
If you're forced back,
yeah,
I don't care what you describe it. They're saying because of the economic situation, the tariffs, they have to do like, to me, that's essential then. And then, all right, look at that. So
did you see the deal they were offered?
No, I don't know how far apart they are. So
I'll give you the deal they were offered, and you tell me if you think it's unfair. This is from Demetrius Sudas, who I think worked for Stephen Harper.
He did.
Yeah, 38% total compensation increase over 4 years. No concessions there from Air Canada, or from the union, I should say. Industry-leading ground pay. So ground pay was included. Hourly rates up to $94 an hour in the first year. First year pay increase of 12 to 16%, which includes an 8% wage hike plus 4 to 8% new ground pay formula. By 2027, senior flight attendants will average $87,000 a year, with 20% of flight attendants earning over $90,000. Major improvements to health benefits and pension plans, including the legacy defined benefit pension. Golden goose. You don't get that anymore. More paid vacation and better rest work-life balance measures. Reduced in-flight workloads through changes to crew complement. So they're going to put more people on each flight, and they would remain the highest paid flight attendants in Canada. They are up to $17 an hour better than the closest competitor. So the question for me is not how fair is it? I think because they realize that they maybe hold some chips, and they're doing a better job communicating that they're the hard done by party than the government is the other argument, the other side. I don't necessarily think that's true. I look at this and I think that these guys have it pretty good. I have in the past been loosely associated with several flight attendants, and I will tell you they are living a life of just wild times, and they seem to love it. So that's anecdotal, but looking at that plus the pay, it's hard for me to think that any group, any organized labor group would decline a 40% wage increase over, what would I say, 4 years?
But is it a 40%
over 4 years? 38%.
No, I hear that number, and I don't have all the details, but I've heard it framed in a way that it's
total
other
comp.
things as well.
Yeah.
So
well, what's the difference?
So
right.
Again, the devil is in the details here.
Yeah.
And they're obviously not accepting it. And I'm not trying to say that it's the right thing to not accept it. You'd have to look at everything in detail to say, okay, look, this is either a good or bad deal. They should take it. The one thing I find interesting, though, is even with this order from the federal government to go back, they're not.
No, I know.
And that's a very sensitive situation to be in, because if they continually do that, I'm not sure if they're in the same position where the flight controllers back in the 80s were when Reagan did. Like, I'm not sure if the same sort of outcome could come from this.
Yeah.
But
replacement referees. Yeah. Watch out for replacement referees in the skies for sure.
They're saying lots of fines are going to be levied as a result of them not going back to work, potential jail time. They're saying, I look at this, this is fucked up, but it is just an example of what's going on in the world. And at least they want more. They are being forced to go back to work, and they're saying they're going to go to mediation to get, like, I don't know, man. It's fucked up in so many ways. You know what? Another thing that's fucked up too. I mean, just on a quick side note, the election is going on today, the by-election for Pierre Poilievre.
Or Alberta. Yeah.
I don't know where specifically in Alberta.
It's like a hyphenated name, I think.
Yeah. Battle River or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Battle Creek. I don't know.
Let's check the updates here.
Closes at 10 our time. 8 p.m. Mountain is when the polls will close.
Okay.
And I've heard
open until 10:30 on Monday. Not 10:30 our time. Yeah.
And I was reading that the results may not come in for several days.
Yeah, because everyone has to write in their candidate.
The list is long.
There's no list. You have to write in. Oh, yeah. The list of candidates, 214 altogether was the total tally.
It's a long list. And so that's just a totally fucked up. And CBC was spinning it today. If he doesn't get anywhere near the 80% marker where his predecessor got, then that could be a potential sign that they're just not happy with a Federalist candidate running, or just him as being the leader of the party.
He doesn't get it. I think that there's two ways to approach.
He had no other
campaign.
choice.
I know, but what I'm saying, like, from his like sort of his ideology, stuff that he talks about on the trail during the federal election and during Battle River too. I would guess I haven't been paying that much attention to that campaign.
Yeah, nobody has. It's been quiet. It's better if it's quiet.
Yeah. I would just say that you had a chance to attack this from the right of the traditional conservative position and say stuff like immigration needs to be frozen, which he's saying now during the campaign. To say stuff like, we have to talk about remigration, which people were saying then, I still think is a good idea, to be honest with you, in a lot of cases. Now he's saying it, and it looks like he's grasping at straws. Jenny Byrne did a podcast the other day. She's completely incompetent. I'd never heard her speak before. she's a total moron. Someone who's living in the past and, you know, really riding on her laurels, I think, in a lot of ways, getting these jobs, major campaign managing, just foul ball after foul ball with her. And like, you know, I look at the Conservative Party, and like I said, the Stockwell Day a few weeks ago, they look rudderless to me. And Stockwell disagreed. He said that Pierre had a lot of support. We'll see how much support he's got. But to your point, you know, what is the number at which you look at his momentum or lack of and say, we got to cut this guy loose as the leader? Is it 70%? I don't know. I don't know.
No, the fact that he lost the election back in April, that's enough to trigger.
For us, it is. You and me both feel that way. But the question is, what does the party feel? What do you think they feel?
I believe that they should go through, and they believe that they should go through some sort of leadership review, and that's going to take place in January.
Yeah.
There's no way he's going to escape not going through a leadership review.
I don't think he's going to escape that, but like, why even put him in the by-election? Like, just pick a new face. That's what me and you both think they should have picked a new face. Do we not?
100%.
Yeah.
You know, this is, I don't want to say it's unprecedented, but it hasn't happened in like a long time where somebody, the opposition leader, loses the seat. And
just crazy.
Usually it's like you got one kick at the can if you, or, you know, unless you do pretty darn good, then you come back a second time and that's it. But man, like this, he had this one locked up too. He had this one locked up for a long period of time and just fumbled it. I got to give kudos to the Carney team. They ran a really good campaign.
We talked about how good the campaign was. Yeah, we talked about
that elbows up thing. Like
really landed.
It worked.
Really landed.
It fucking worked.
Yeah, Boomer asking if we're going to get Melissa Lantsman. No, she's not competent either. I don't know who you get, honestly. I haven't thought about it. You and me kind of talked about it offline. I think maybe you go into the business world and take your shot with someone like I don't know. I think we landed on Jim Balsillie as being a dark horse. If there's Kalshi odds on him, I'll put 10 USDT down to make 100. but otherwise, I don't know. I don't think in the party they have any. They don't even have any recognizable faces. Like, who are you going to get? Who probably the most well-known conservative MP is now? It's probably Andrew Lawton from his time with was he with the Rebel? I forget what he was with. Western Standard, one of those outlets. Like, he might be the most well-known face in conservative politics, not for his time as a politician, which just started. So I don't know where that party goes after Poilievre, but I don't think he's going to make it through that leadership review, honestly.
Don Cherry 35 years ago and bilingual would have been a heck of a idea.
Yeah.
But obviously that's never going to happen. Let's discuss this iPro Realty.
Sure.
I'm not sure if they went tits up. And I have to admit, I never heard of this real estate brokerage before.
This is out west, right?
No, this is in Ontario.
Oh, yeah.
In Ontario.
Yeah.
And either way, it is no more. The Real Estate Council of Ontario said they are finalizing the undertaking of the firm as of August 19th. That's tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And the snapshot of what's going on is this company went tits up. And it's just what's going on in real estate in Canada. It's not doing all that well. It's fucking a nightmare for people out there that are holding bags that are getting heavier by the day. And they say for this iPro, they have a total deficit of $10 million and 2,400 agents are employed over there. And people are asking questions like what happens if their property was recently sold through iPro, or if they've made a deposit on a home that is being held by iPro, or they've made an offer on a property using iPro, shit like that. This is an absolute fucking mess. The real estate market
that 10 million, that 10 million is gone.
I don't know.
So I've been following this sort of from friends of the show, Ron Butler and Ben Rabideau, because Ben's been on this for a long time. I think Ben actually got into a legal battle with these guys. They sued him and lost because he was pointing out irregularities in some of their operations. I mean, that's probably putting it lightly, but and Ron Butler is making the case here. He made this tweet from 2 days ago. Where the hell did iPro Realty's 10 million go? Who is RECO, which I assume is like Real Estate Council of Ontario, maybe trying to protect here?
The David Bailey method, and they're flying private jets everywhere, getting an annual salary of like 1.5 million.
Here's the big comment. iPro isn't audited by RECO for years, but when iPro is advised of the coming audit, they magically arrange for an existing senior manager to form iCloud Realty, and by a wild coincidence, the new guy is ready to take on all 2,400 agents. Screw that bullshit. Where's the OPP? So the implication here is that iPro formed a new realty called iCloud Realty with the 10 million they stole from people who used iPro and are now taking on all 2,400 agents from the old agency under this new name with the stolen money. That's the implication from Ron's tweet, I think. So I don't like real estate, man.
No, it's a disaster.
There's three people in real estate that I trust. One is my dad's girlfriend, who's done 2 transactions for my wife and I, and the other 2 are Tom and Nick Carrazza, and that's the list. Like that is the list. I don't know. I wouldn't trust anyone else in real estate. I think all these guys are stupid. They think they're brilliant because they got rich or are trying to get rich on the back of monetization of an asset that's not meant to be monetized. They took weekend classes. I know I won't use the name of the bar or the girl, but in my heyday, I knew this girl who was telling me that she was like going to become a realtor. This girl was the biggest drunk I've ever met. And she did become a realtor, Len. She is now selling homes somewhere in Ontario. And I just look around and I think, how many other people are like this? They got an idea. They were able to put it together for 72 hours, take one of these courses, pass the test, whatever. And now they're going around telling people what they predict in the interest rate market to try and get them to buy homes. Like, you're asking for trouble with this. With iPro, it's even worse. Like, there's a lot of commentary about like laundered money. And I just, how is it allowed? Never forget, okay, that you and I were deemed too risky for a bank account. We were deemed too risky for a bank account. These guys are moving tens of millions of dollars around from one defunct agency to a new sort of like, you know, clean face to save themselves from bankruptcy. Like, how is that allowed? What bank is allowing that? Help me understand it. Help it make sense, man. I don't get it at all.
You can't make fun of it. You can't. It just is a snapshot of what's going on in the real estate market. And you talked about the money laundering, and I've mentioned this several times over the years. The real estate market is I don't want to condone it,
Apex,
but the reality
Apex
is,
predator of money laundering for sure.
it is.
Yeah.
You could have the dirtiest
What about
money.
where do you put Hunter Biden art sales on the money laundering predator list? Above or below real estate?
Oh, I was going to say on par. If I don't know which is. One day I'm going to pick one. It is just like that, right? Like, you get the dirtiest fucking money. First of all, buy a home legally, the proper way, get a mortgage, upgrade the fucking thing, put new rooms, all this shit with the dirtiest fucking money, sell it. It's clean. It gets washed. And the real estate in Canada has been a wonderful place for that. And you know what? Anybody wanted to come after me and say, I've been doing it. I live in the same house. I've only owned one house in my life.
Yeah,
this is it.
yeah.
So it's not like I've been doing it. I'm just telling you this is the reality of what's going on in here.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just want to bring up a couple of more stories before we do our Hamilton.
Brampton man or Hamilton man. Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, but a couple of good ones. We got to go a little longer because we did the segment for Tuan.
Sure.
People are wondering what happens to Canadians when they join ISIS. Well, Global News did some studies here.
Who's wondering?
Oh no, this is interesting because people picked up and left for Syria back when ISIS was doing their thing over there. And Global News wrote an article, and they were talking about 8 women and children that were involved here, and they left. And so Canada repatriating these individuals. Canada spent $170,000 to bring them back home. Included in this was $170. Sorry, including this $170,000 was they were taking business class, Joey, to come back. When is the last time you've taken business class? Probably never. Maybe you have. I don't know.
Grade 10.
Anyway,
I think I took a business class.
Business class. Good for you.
Grade 12.
These individuals that picked up and left for, I believe Canada described them as a terrorist group, by the way. They were able to come back on business class. They were then, when they came back, Montreal Marriott was their stay for a little while. They were given ice cream, candy, and fucking wine. Beautiful stuff here. One room cost over $1,000 for 2 nights because there was the wine tab they had to pick up. Another one ran to $850 with charges of junk food, red, white, and sparkling wines. They don't go fucking light over there. Another one was $2,800 for catering. That was
Are these Muslim women? Are you allowed to drink if you're practicing Muslim? I don't think you are. But anyway, continue. I'm pretty sure you're not.
Maybe they converted afterwards.
Maybe.
After
Yeah.
they
Business
got
class will do
given-
that to you. Yeah, it changes a person.
And also the expenses were $100 for books, clothes. Sorry, more than $100 for books, clothing, travel bags, Canadian pins, and high value token of appreciations, all purchased at Best Buy. Even they were tipping people. They were even tipping people. They give the servers tips of a few bucks here, a few bucks there. Yeah,
Yes.
this is. And by the way, this $170,000 to repatriate these people. This is $2023 I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Not $2025 money, because Global News wanted this information. They applied for it. Took 2 years. They finally got it on August 7th, and hence they wrote this article.
Interesting. John in the chat asking if these are Canadian spies. The news just happened to pick up on the expenses. I don't know. Good question. I think the point though is that that's a lot of money to be giving away to people to spend at Best Buy. Is it not?
No, the one like business class, Joey.
Everything.
Like,
Everything.
Come on,
Yeah.
Marriott. You couldn't.
Yeah.
The Motel 6 wasn't available.
Was there a
had to
blackjack
tip
expense on
people.
there too?
I don't know.
They're in
I
Niagara,
just-
you said, right? So
No, Montreal.
Oh, Montreal.
There's a casino.
There's casinos in
Montreal.
Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have played
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Anyways,
I
this-
how do I get involved in this somehow?
you should have
I mean,
joined ISIS.
Is that the
you
trick? Didn't they pay another terrorist guy a while ago, like 10 million
Yeah.
or something, and he started a business with the money, and like they tried to hide it. This is a long time ago now. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was in the news.
Well, there's more to come, because these are just the women they repatriated. There's still some men that have to
good.
come back, and so
Good.
there's going to be a part 2 to this story. We'll probably get it in 2035 when we ask for it.
And the rest of the request comes through.
So this may be the most fucked up story this past week,
Okay.
and it's been a lot of fucked up stories. This guy named Jagjit Singh, he's a citizen of India, entered Canada in 2021 as a visitor, not a foreign student, not a worker, as a fucking visitor. Came here and made a claim for asylum, claimed he was a refugee.
Mhm.
Met a Canadian woman in November of 2024. 2 months later, married, 2025 January.
Mhm.
He decided to withdraw his refugee claim, and his wife applied to sponsor him to stay in Canada as a spouse. And I'm not sure if I mentioned, she suffers from ADHD. And since he overstayed his visitor visa, he was asked to leave, or worse, forcefully leave through deportation. But he decided to fight this. He went to the federal court, and the court justice, Avi Yayago, she came up with the thing that there's evidence to support there's harm to Singh's wife and to Singh's sister, who will suffer financially because the couple have to pay to live in her house. So Singh and his wife pay to Singh's sister to live in their house. And quote here, in the case before me, there's evidence that the wife that's suffering from ADHD, which impairs her ability to manage time, stress, focus, and everyday responsibilities, and that the applicant provides her with support by, amongst other things, helping her maintain daily structure and reminders for medication and appointments, and providing her with emotional stability and mental health support. Essentially, the application for stay, he's going to stay here. She's allowed to stay in Canada because she's got ADHD and she's suffering from other things. So the guy came here, claimed refugee, overstayed his visa, all that stuff, met somebody, married 2 months later, and yeah. Enjoy, man. You know what? I look at stories like this, and I'm happy the decisions I'm making are, that I'm making, because the problems that exist are going to be other people's problems. That's exactly it. Not mine to fucking deal with. It's other fucking people's problems.
I love how foreigners are piling in. I mean, this is obviously a bit of an exaggeration, but like they're piling in and latching onto women who are like SSRI addicted, ADHD, like bipolar art chicks, and then claiming that they have to stay because she can't remember her appointments and her pills. Like that's the claim, basically.
Yeah. It's good to have him around.
Yeah, Boomer.
He's
staying because he's an emotional support dog.
You can't put on your
Basically.
phone, on the calendar. Okay, this time I gotta do this. This day,
That's
that
amazing.
doesn't fucking exist. No.
Amazing.
You gotta have that fucking person next to you to remind you.
Jag, what's his name?
Jagjit Singh.
Jagjit Singh. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Jagjit
Yeah.
Singh. All right,
Good.
let's go to the Brampton and Hamilton.
This is going to be sponsored by 256 Heat. That's who the sponsor is for this segment from now on.
Yeah.
Until we decide that we don't like Twan for some reason, or he doesn't like us. But He lives really close to my house, by the way. He's like not kidding about the location. It's like 10 minutes from my front door.
And for people who are unaware what this segment's about, I propose 2 stories to Joey. One is about a Hamilton man. One is about a Brampton man. And he decides which one is which based on the facts that I'm presenting to him. And you can play along at home until the board game is released. You can play along with us right now.
I gotta shut the comments off. Okay, go ahead.
Because Joey doesn't want to have this.
I don't want anyone to tell me.
All right, so let's start off with the first one. So, this is according to the police. A 25-year-old motorist allegedly opened a beer can to commemorate having passed his G2 license exam just 20 minutes prior.
How old is he? 25?
25. So in celebration, the driver cracked open a beer and decided to drive back home on the highway. And the driver apparently was going over 50 kilometers over the speed limit, and he was also weaving in and out of traffic. And he passed an unmarked cruiser, and the cop obviously stopped him. And during the stop, they identified open alcohol in the car and a blood alcohol limit, which was above 0, which is essentially what you have to have as a novice driver. And so, yeah, this guy got his test, passed it, cracked open a beer and drive home. And there you go. So 50 over the limit, lost his license, lost his car for 30 days, the whole 9 yards. That's story number 1.
I know where I'm leaning on that one, but I want to hear number 2. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the police in this one are alleging that a 34-year-old person assaulted somebody before robbing the cyclist.
Oh, I know exactly who it is now. Okay, yeah.
You know this one?
Yeah. Is this the naked cyclist guy?
The naked cyclist guy, yes.
Okay.
So this guy was the arrest for the people playing at home. This guy was, he was a naked guy, and he assaulted somebody. And then
can we pull the clip? I'll see if I can find the clip.
So there's some videos out there that's being shared on social media. The naked guy was seen knocking off the cyclist to the ground before riding away in a stolen bike, and this happened at 2 p.m. Apparently, the guy he assaulted somebody that he lives with a bat. After fleeing that, he decided to jump on the back of a vehicle at a local parking lot, but he fell off the vehicle as the vehicle fled away, and he decided, oh, there's a bike over there, the cyclist on it, I'm going to steal that fucking bike. So, yeah, there you go. So you got the naked guy that assaulted his roommate with the bat, jumped on the back of a car, and ultimately just stole a bike from some poor cyclist.
So I knew I was gonna lean Brampton with the guy who finishes G1 or G2 and then cracked a beer. Seems like a Brampton man thing to do. And then obviously I knew about the naked guy, even though you didn't tell me he was naked. I kind of knew that story from recently. If you haven't seen that, there's basically a guy in Hamilton who got mugged and then had his bike stolen, like beat up or like hit, and then had his bike stolen on basically the highway, Nikola Tesla Boulevard.
That's exactly it. Yeah, he was on
and the video is nuts. Someone captured it on their phone because it obviously had been going on for a minute or two before. And there's just like a naked guy stealing a bike from a guy who's dressed to ride, and he just rides off on the bike, butt ass naked. It's an incredible Hamilton story, outstanding stuff. What is my record now in this?
I think you're 3-0.
3-0. Okay.
Yeah,
3-0. I got to put. We need to make a banner for this. Okay.
So yeah, the other one is the guy that cracked open the beer was a Brampton man, and so didn't say his name, but I think we could figure it out.
Well, what is it? What's the Brampton guy's name?
Oh, we don't know.
Oh, we don't know.
It's not reported. 25 years old, and he just
he
decided to get his license that day. At least his G2.
So Brampton Man versus Hamilton is sponsored by 256 Heat, where you can heat your home, greenhouse, pool, or just your podcast room when it's cold. And make some stats let you do it.
Yeah, it's like if you're riding around naked and you come back home and you're fucking cold, stand in front of the miner and you can heat yourself up. So
I should know. I don't know if Twan's still listening. He was in the chat earlier, but Twan, if you're still listening, put these things on your website, because on your catalog it's like t-shirts and stuff. I like the t-shirts, by the way. I should have asked you to give me one, but yeah, put it on your website so people can see it, because I know that people will want to buy these things once they get a chance.
Hey, you know what we didn't talk about today?
What?
The cost of living in the States. The PPI came out.
Sure, we can talk about it quick if you want.
No, I mean, I don't know if you want to. Just it came out hotter than what it should have.
It's hot. And Powell, we will talk next week about Jackson Hole, which is on Friday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, which is the biggest sort of Fed speak thing of the year. I don't know.
That's their Super Bowl.
Yeah, that can move markets, man. Don't forget, a couple of years ago, it really moved markets, and I will be paying attention to that if I was a Bitcoiner. I don't know if everyone will be, but I'll be watching for sure. It's Friday, I think at 1 or 2 o'clock he goes on and he does a short speech, and that's it. I don't even think he takes questions.
I might be golfing that day, so it doesn't.
Yeah, stream it in the cart. Oh, you don't take a cart. You're a walker.
I like to
Oh
walk,
my God.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. Good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, listening, watching, and I'll see you Wednesday for Dan Carlin. We'll talk about the Canadian conference, which you should be attending, by the way, and we'll have a discount code for you at some point. So tune in, and we'll see you then.
And don't ride your bike naked.